This is WWE Wrestling Legend Hall of Famer Tito Santana, and you are listening to the Source Wrestling Podcast. Arriba!
You're looking at the best
Austin
there is.
316.
What do you guys want to talk about?
I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest. I'm the best. I'm the best in the world.
Let me talk to you. Yeah.
You will rest in peace.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back for episode 19 of The Source, WWE, AEW, All Things Wrestling Podcast with Joe
And
Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk to you once again. And when we talk to you, it's going to be involving WWE Friday Night Smackdown, March 15th, 2024. We're going to talk to you about AEW Rampage, March 15th, 2024. And I'm going to talk to you about AEW Collision 3/16, 2024. Let's jump right in, guys. It's the Source Podcast. Friday Night Smackdown, huge implications, huge WrestleMania building. Let's get right into it. March 15th, we are live from the FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee,
Yes, we are.
featuring the latest build, of course, to WrestleMania 40 in Philly. And here we go. It's The Rock. Right off the bat, we have his new lightning entrance. We're expecting that now.
Excellent.
And then
But what we weren't expecting.
what we were not expecting is he comes out to the Hollywood Rock theme. And we said it here on the show, when they changed the entrance, we said it here. All he needs is the Hollywood Rock theme.
That's it.
And they gave it to us. We got it. It's that slowed down heel version of the theme song, and everyone's loving it. He's getting a massive ovation because he started in Memphis.
pop.
That's where it all started for The Rock, was Memphis at the flea markets and, this and that, $7 in his pocket. You know the story. We've all heard it.
Yes, sir.
So he comes out and he says he's going to do something a little different tonight. He's not going to insult the crowd because this is Memphis. This is where The Rock began. All right, and that they're going to have a little fun. So I can't believe I'm about to say this. We get a Rock concert.
Yes, we do.
We get another Rock concert. It's been the first one, and I don't know, it has to be 20-something years.
Absolutely.
Another thing that we've talked about, and it's coming to fruition, it is happening. And, the Rock concert itself drew a lot of pop, a lot of funny one-liners here in their songs.
Really did.
And it really did. And, once...
It was well done.
Very well done. He's being happy Rock during this, and then once that cuts, once our Rock concert is over, he then gets, he dives right back into this heel Hollywood Rock, and he's talking directly to Cody and Cody's mother. Mm-hmm. Mama Rhodes. And, this is getting really,
Goes
really
below
personal.
the belt, if
yeah,
you
he's
will.
low blowing, and he dropped an 8-minute promo.
It's funny, no matter how much of a heel he is, though, he gets that pop.
Still getting that pop. It's The Rock, man. But he's embracing this Hollywoodness, if you will. He is going in on Cody's mom. He dropped this 8-minute promo on Instagram, just degrading everybody. Lots of swear words, too, which I'm hearing he's getting a lot of
Attitude
backlash.
Era-esque, yeah.
I'm hearing he's getting a lot of backlash.
He
for
probably
this.
is, but it
But
makes
you know
people
what?
talk, and it's
It
promo,
does.
and we'll
Yep.
see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. So he's saying that there's no way Mama Rhodes' son is walking away with the championship. He's not even going to make it to the match. He's saying he hopes that she's sitting front row, he says, because he's going to come out there with his Rock weight belt, and it's going to be covered in her son's blood and sweat and tears. And The Rock is, he's getting heinous on this, and he's getting this way because Cody slapped him last week, all right?
Uh-huh.
And he's saying that he took it like a man. You know what I mean? He smiled. He said The Rock smiled about it. But then,
He did. He took it like a man.
But then Cody came out on Raw and cried about it. And, The Rock sunk his teeth into that, the
don't
Cody
mind
crybabies, all that stuff. Needless to say, this was a massive, massive opening segment for SmackDown here. It's
Another long one.
unbelievable. Very long,
Another
yeah.
30-minute,
Yeah,
I'd say.
it was close, man. It was over 20. I know that.
Oh, definitely.
Everyone
Like
backstage
21 at one point. So,
right?
yeah.
Everyone backstage is like, shit. My match time is going.
Yep, that's it.
It's getting cut, and that's gonna end that Rock segment, guys. We're loving where it's going. Hollywood Rock, Hollywood
Exciting.
theme song. He's got the $500 shirt. And we got a Rock concert, so we might not ever see that again. Embrace it. First match of the evening. It is a tag team championship qualifying match for this tournament they have going here to move on. So it's the LWO. It's Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde versus Legado del Fantasma, Angel Garza, and Humberto Carrillo. This match, it was okay. Wasn't, anything to go rant and rave about. Not a massive fan of either of these guys being in this tournament. Needless to say, Legado del Fantasma win by pinfall, and they're moving on. They're not moving on to the match yet. They move on to the next round. This was just the first round of that. Then they won by pinfall. We then see footage. Yeah, we then see footage of Bayley and Dakota Kai arriving at the arena earlier in the day. And we go to break, and this is the main event tonight. Bayley and Dakota Kai, lot riding on this, and we'll get there when the time comes. But back from commercial now. L.A. Knight, is being interviewed on stage, and we need that. He's had less than 2 minutes of TV time in the last few weeks.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get some more L.A. Knight in our veins. Let's go.
Exactly. With all these big guys around, there's not as much time for the megastar.
Tough.
But, yeah, it is tough. He's calling out AJ Styles, and then when he doesn't show up, he calls him short. He calls him Napoleon Styles.
Yep.
He's out there cooking, like he
Goes
said.
in.
He's going in. He says, even though Napoleon was an average height for the late 18th century Europe, you see the nickname, the Little Corporal, was a term of endearment given to him by his troops in the sense of he's not our guy. He's short. Anyway, LA keeps talking through that and challenges AJ Styles, here it is, to a match at WrestleMania. Just as we thought, once again, our predictions, guys, if you're listening and staying consistent with us, our predictions are pretty on point. Not to toot our own horn, but
pretty on point,
toot, Mike, yes. And then
I'm going to toot it. I'm going to toot our own horn.
Toot it.
Because we've been doing good.
Toot it and boot it. Anyway, LA Knight is challenging AJ Styles to this match, and Styles comes out finally and attacks him from behind, of course, with a chair, and accepts this match. So it's set in stone. It's the megastar LA Knight, versus AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, the two former TNA guys. They are going to have to burn it down at WrestleMania.
Going to be great. And
now we pan to Logan Paul rolling up on Nick Aldis and asking Randy, to ask how Randy, is going to be punished. Mm-hmm. And when Aldis shrugs it off, he says he wants an apology from Randy, for everything, because Nick Aldis might get in serious trouble if not. And, he's saying he's not doing his job. And Nick tells him to go ask Randy himself in person. And then we get Grayson Waller, the Aussie icon, making his entrance, and we go to commercial. And when we return, it's Paul Heyman and Jimmy Uso.
Ooh.
Okay, and this is where things get interesting now.
Jimmy coming into character, finally.
He's not this no yeet, goofy guy right now. He's saying, listen, I've always been the big brother. You don't want this, Jey Uso. You don't want this. I will have to put you down. And he's saying that he raised him. You know what I mean? He accepts his challenge for the WrestleMania match, and it's set in stone. Now we can say it. It's set in stone, guys. We have main event Jey Uso versus Big Jim Uso.
Yes, we do.
At WrestleMania, and we are here for it. It is exciting.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. We kick back to Grayson Waller, just made his entrance, and he's got a match against Randy Orton tonight. This is a big one, And they're trying to get started, and who comes out to join the commentary team? It's the Maverick, the United States champion.
Yep, surprise. Here he comes.
It's Logan Paul making his way to the ring. in natural heel fashion, getting booed. And Orton and Waller had a great match, I thought. There was some nice in-ring work here. Randy really got me, though, at one point with this Orton DDT. And while he's got him hung up there, I think it was before he hit Theory with one as well. It was the one to Grayson Waller. You know how he'll just hang there for a second and like make a few weird noises or something like that? He just laughed like super loud. He was like, ha, 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 ha. And then he just planted his head into the mat.
I saw that.
So funny. I always wait to see what he's going to do.
He always does something goofy or something weird.
You can tell he's just having fun.
Yeah.
Ain't
nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that for sure. Same thing happens to Austin Theory naturally. And, he gets hit, mega style. And Randy Orton wins this match by pinfall with what else but the RKO.
Of course.
Out of nowhere. And after this match, Logan Paul and his goons light on Randy. They just start lighting him up. Paul decks him with the steel hand, it's got the plates in it. And who comes to make the save? It's KO. It's our boy. He comes to make the save.
Does a good job, too.
Absolutely. Orton gets him with a friendly RKO, and they get past that malfunction and take out the two with a super RKO type stunner. That worked, man.
Stunner, hop up into the RKO.
Yeah,
man. Thing of beauty.
Austin Theory, great job. Great sell on that one.
I did see a little bit of a stutter after the stunner, a little bit, but
he hesitated for a second,
right.
but he made it work. And now after all this, Nick Aldis comes out to the stage while Logan's trying to retreat. He's like, you know what, Logan? What we talked about earlier. I guess we found a WrestleMania match for you. We found your opponents, plural, not opponent. And he lets him know it's going to be a triple threat match at WrestleMania for the U.S. Championship.
Let's go.
It's Logan Paul, the champion. It's Randy Orton, the Viper. It's KO, the Stunner. At WrestleMania, and we are here for that.
Here we go.
And now we get a recap of the whole Damage Control saga, of everything that's been going on. And now they're interviewed backstage, and Dakota is telling Bayley she's going to break her. And if there's anyone who feels sorry for Bayley, they've lost their mind, because this is all her own fault. And this is a message to everyone in the locker room that they run the show. Meaning Damage Control, of course. And when we come back from commercial, it's our next match of the night. It is Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar, and they go one-on-one. And this match was pretty back and forth, but ended with Santos Escobar hitting that phantom driver that he does. And he wins this match. And post-match, now the whole Phantasma crew is out there putting boots to Dragon Lee. And you wonder if someone's going to come out and make the save. And it's just, it's going on for a while. And Carlito was the first out there. He's relieving the pressure a little bit. And as we're watching this, we get the Lucha Goat, Rey Mysterio.
Cap it off.
To cap everything off. He comes down, fights Escobar, puts him into the ropes, but Santos gets away from a 619 just before it's connecting. And Rey asks him why he's running and challenges him now to a match next week on SmackDown, and promises to slap the taste out of his mouth. So, Rey's pissed off. You don't want to piss off Rey Mysterio. He is the GOAT luchador.
He's calling for it. He's calling for that match for next week, so we're going to see it. And I think it was announced shortly after.
It was. So. It surely was. It is official, as Adam Pearce would say. Bayley's now getting ready for backstage for her match tonight in the main event as we go to break again. And when we return, it is another Tag Team Championship qualifying match. It is New Catch Republic, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate versus Pretty Deadly, Elton Prince and Kit Wilson. And this match honestly surprised me. It really went hard.
Pretty Deadly in the fold, pretty much. It seems.
Absolutely. And this match could have gone either way, I would say, and it did for most of the duration of this match. But New Catch Republic ends up winning this match with a Birminghammer on Elton Prince, and they're moving on once again. They have plans for these guys, and we just have to stay tuned to see what it is. And that's the end of that match, guys. And now it is time for our SmackDown main event. It is Bayley versus the new leader of Damage Control. It's Dakota Kai. This is to note, this is Dakota Kai's first match back from that leg injury, the ACL tear, whatever it was.
Correct.
So it's good to see her
can
back.
Put it up like she used to put it
Absolutely.
up. You know what I mean?
And you know what? She did. She was looking good. She always had that fast offense, lots of kicks, a lot of accurate strikes, and the match is just going back and forth. And the match breaks down, unfortunately, though, with Damage Control in the ring. And the referee here is trying to restore order, and it doesn't work. Unfortunately, this match gets thrown away. Bayley wins by disqualification here.
Yeah, it was really a setup, if anything.
Of
it looked
course.
like it was
Yeah,
gonna be
they
a
lured
match,
her
went,
in,
And then literally during the match, while the match was going on, Io just gets in the ring blatantly, and the ref's kind of like, when am I going to call it?
Yeah, so they're beating her down now, Damage Control. They're beating her down, but Naomi comes out to make the save. Thankfully, we don't want to see Bayley get beat up by all these people. And, Heat Seeker on Kairi Sane, Rising Knee, and, it's going all over the place now. Io Sky attacks and sends Naomi packing. Damage Control is standing tall at the end of this show, and that is the image we have to finish out WWE Smackdown with. And it's not over from here. Bayley is going to get her revenge for sure. And this is going to end a major episode of Friday Night Smackdown. Really, really good one here. Lots to do with The Rock and WrestleMania implications. Two brand new WrestleMania matches announced, Styles and Knight, and we have the triple threat match for the U.S. Championship. Great episode. We'll see what happens next week, but for now, we are going to transition into AEW Rampage 3/16/24, brother. And this episode of Rampage is being brought to us at the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts, and was commentated by Tony Schiavone, Excalibur, and Chris Jericho himself. Match number 1 of the night. It's the Best Friends-ish versus the Dark Order. Very good opening match here. The Best Friends are looking great. Obviously, Orange Cassidy, we're a big fan of him. Yes. At the end of this match here, we had the Strong Zero for the finish. We had an orange punch out of nowhere to John Silver. No one's getting up from that orange punch. Your winners of the first match of the evening is the Best Friends-ish. And then we get a promo package for the Righteous. They basically want to plant seeds and move forward in the ranks in AEW, you could only think. Then we move to Saraya. It's Saraya. She's here with her brother Zach Knight and Haley Cameron. Zach beats up 2 guys that we've never seen before, but then Angelo Parker shows up, and it's just a big brawl before security comes, breaks it all up. But it's good to see Parker is back after that heinous attack. Match number 2 of the night. It is Timeless Toni Storm and her protege Mariah May, with Luther, of course, versus LMK and Kayla Sparks. Mariah May once again comes out in the throwback Toni Storm getup, and these two come out as now a tag team going against 2 jobbers, basically. It's unfortunate to say that, but this is what they're being put up against. It's a squash match here. Storm Zero to Sparks and a running hip attack to LMK for good measure as Mariah May takes the pinfall victory. Your winners here are Timeless Toni Storm and her Tony Award-winning protege, Mariah May. And after this match, Deonna Purrazzo comes out and she announces her tag team partner for next week is going to be none other than Thunder Rosa. The 2 women then hit the ring, and Storm and May just retreat. They're heading backstage, and that's something to be interested in and to invest in and to look forward to for next week for sure. Match number 3 of AEW Rampage. It is one of my new favorites, Konosuke Takeshita versus Commander, who I'm also very high on. This was one hell of a match, guys. If you didn't watch it, go find Rampage online somewhere and go watch it, because this match was really, really good. A lot of close calls, a lot of 2 counts. Commander was looking for the rope walk shooting star press, but Takeshita gets the knees up, power drive knee, and a huge power bomb. And what I liked about the finish here was Takeshita. He finishes with a spinning Falcon Arrow. Can't say that I've seen that before. And the winner of this match is Konosuke Takeshita. After this banger, we now have main event time. Match number 4 of the night. It's Action Andretti teaming up with Top Flight versus the Undisputed Kingdom. And this match, like I said, we have Action Andretti, really nice new talent, high-flying type guy, Darius and Dante Martin from Top Flight, who have been impressing me. And they're going against the Undisputed Kingdom members, Matt Taven, ROH Tag Team Champion Matt Taven, and AEW International Champion Roddy Strong. And this was a great match, guys. It really lived up to the hype, the expectations of what it was supposed to be. We saw some really cool stuff. We saw some big spots, some big aerial spots, including Action Andretti with a springboard 450 that only got a 2 count. And once again, this match was full of, quality wrestling, which, I'm kind of impressed with Rampage lately. It's been more quality wrestling, not just a filler show. You know what I mean? That's just what it is now. It's getting better by the week. We get the Undisputed Kingdom hitting that spike pile driver they like to use so much to end matches. They hit that. And also Roderick Strong, the international champion, follows up with End of Heartache, which is a really devastating looking finishing move, even though I'm not that sold on the guy yet. Yeah, that finishes this one. 1, 2, 3, your winners, and ending AEW Rampage. It's the Undisputed Kingdom. And this is going to end the AEW Rampage portion of the Source Wrestling Podcast. Once again, my name is Joe, and I'm taking you through both AEW shows exclusively today. And as we transition, we are going to move on into AEW Saturday Night Collision 3/16/2024. Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah. And to start this episode of Collision, we have Bryan Danielson versus Katsuyori Shibata in a one-on-one match. Let's go. And now, we get this match first thing right off the bat to start a Collision. And for what it is, it's an absolute banger. I have not seen the both of these guys go at it in the same ring. I don't know if that's a first or if it's just an AEW first. But what a match here. And rolling towards the end now, Danielson nearly gets the lapel lock, but Shibata rolls him over, and then Bryan rolls through that and manages to keep Shibata's shoulders down for the 3. 1, 2, 3, and hell of an opener. And Danielson points to Shibata across the ring, and after extends his hand. They do shake hands, they do hug, standing ovation. Like, wow, this is how you open a show, guys. Your winner of this match, Bryan Danielson. Next match of the night, it is for the TBS Championship. It is Trish Adora versus the TBS champion, Julia Hart, representing the House of Black. And I thought this match was, a back-and-forth match. It's a championship title match. It had that feel there for sure. Later goes up to the top rope, and Julia Hart, she don't miss when she hits that moonsault. Trish Adora has no answer for that. It's a 3 count. Your winner and still TBS champion. It's Julia Hart from the House of Black, and she is rolling. I really like that quick little segment, that stare down segment that she had with Mercedes Moné. Let's see if they can work her into this now for the TBS title. And we have the next match of the night. We are just going back to back with action on this night of Collision. It's Daniel Garcia and his funny little dance versus Lee Moriarty. And they go back and forth as well, having a decent match here. Later on, it ends up being Lee regaining the edge and gets on. He gets him on a roll up, and it's only a 2 count. He then goes for a suplex. Garcia then scrambles and gets the leg lock. Moriarty has no choice but to tap out, to the submission hold, which looked good. Your winner of this match is Daniel Garcia via submission. And next up is another action-filled match here. It's Aaron Solo versus the returning Bastard Pac. He's been rolling since his return. We love to see it. We did miss him while he was out, and later on he hits a shotgun drop kick, does Pac onto Aaron Solo. They go back to the top rope, and you got to know it's time for the Black Arrow, his signature aerial move. He hits that, and just to sweeten the deal a little bit, he throws a submission on. He slaps it on and taps out Aaron Solo. Your winner of this match is the Bastard Pac by submission. And after he wins, he grabs a mic and he's saying, Tony, as in Tony Khan, I told you, the Bastard is back and I'm looking for trouble. But you see, this is not exactly what I had in mind. So I'll say this again to Tony Khan. I am looking for trouble. So he wants him to find somebody. He wants him to find some trouble, I guess, or else he's going to find it himself. We'll see who gets paired up with the Bastard Pac next. And we pan backstage now to Bryan Danielson. He's meditating after his big victory against Shibata, and he says he's thankful that he even got to wrestle him on this night. They were told years ago they would never be able to wrestle again, but here they are, and man, did they fight. He doesn't know who he has to thank for that, but thank you is what he's saying. Hell of a match once again. He says he's extremely grateful for his match coming up against Will Ospreay. I believe it's at Dynasty. And he watched what Will said at Dynamite and how he said Will has watched him and tried to emulate his entire career. Like he said, he heard that when he gets in the ring, it's live or die, and he doesn't plan on dying just yet, he says. What that tells Bryan is that Ospreay has followed him and emulated him, but he can't walk in his shoes. He says he can't walk in his own shoes. Bryan Danielson says this to Will Ospreay, and he's been told he will never wrestle again, and that he's been knocking on death's door, so this is nothing new to him. So Will can say what he wants about what he's willing to do, because Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, knows what he's willing to do, and he concludes this with saying he doesn't think that you're ready for that yet. Fire promo, right? Shots fired back from Bryan Danielson. This feud with Will Ospreay is really heating up, guys. We are here for it. Yeah. Next match of the evening, it is Claudio Castagnoli versus Lance Archer, and these guys are going at it. It is a battle. Always good to see Castagnoli in the ring. At one point, he's throwing them European uppercuts in the corner, and everyone's asking for the giant swing, of course, and Castagnoli obliges and calls for it. He then grabs the legs of the big man and starts the rotation when the Righteous come out now. Okay, so Vincent and the Righteous are out there attacking Claudio Castagnoli. There's the bell. It rings. The match has now been thrown away. And Claudio, he starts getting beat down. And Bryan Danielson now, after that fire promo, quickly hits the ring to help out. He, too, gets taken down, unfortunately. So Shibata hits the ring now with a chair and sends everybody running away to the back, just, going crazy. And Claudio and Danielson shake hands with Shibata and thank him for that assistance. Now we pan backstage again. It's Lexi. She's got Ruby Soho, and she's got Angelo Parker. And they're being interviewed now. He says he doesn't know what to say right now. This is his second home, and he was ready for a fight. And Ruby's telling him to just relax, but Parker's just freaking out. He won't come down from whatever feelings that he's having right now. And she says he's being baited, and if he goes looking for a fight, he'll have to do it without her. So I don't know if does Parker really want to, mess this up with Ruby just over a fight, with Zach Knight or whatever the case may be. We'll have to stay tuned to find out. But he's distraught about that, but quickly apologizes and says he'll leave it alone, and they walk off. So, nice save here by Parker. You really don't want to mess it up with Ruby. And we move on to the next match of the night. It is the returning Kyle O'Reilly, his first AEW match. It's Kyle O'Reilly versus the Bounty Hunter, Brian Keith. And I just want to say the Bounty Hunter has really impressed me since his AEW debut. I'm really liking him in the ring and what he's got going. So we'll see where this match goes. And, it was a big fight between the both of them. It really was. O'Reilly was falling over, and Brian Keith hits another knee on the way down. This only gets a 2 count, though, and Keith hits that double underhook power bomb that gets an even closer count of almost 3. And Keith with a big kick in the corner, but O'Reilly whips him to the mat with an arm drag, a kick to the neck, and both guys back up to exchange shots. O'Reilly's now sent into the ropes. He then recovers from that and throws a big lariat. He gets a 2 on a big brain buster and then steps over, locks in that patented arm bar, and the bounty hunter, Brian Keith, has no choice but to tap out right away. This surprised me here. I mean that, they tapped him out, but, it was his first match back here. So, needless to say, your winner by submission is Kyle O'Reilly. And after the match, of course, the Undisputed Kingdom come out. They want to celebrate with Kyle O'Reilly, even though he said he wanted to do this on his own. Roderick Strong comes out, gives him a hug, all that. The others put him up on their shoulders. It's like a big celebration, and he's actually grinning during this. So do we think that Kyle is going to reconsider maybe and join the Undisputed Kingdom? We'll see. And then we go back to Lexi. Backstage, she's got Thunder Rosa, she's got Deonna Purrazzo, and they are slated to face Toni Storm and her protege Mariah May next week, but they've never teamed before, so maybe there's some doubt there. I don't know. Deonna stops her and says they've never been on a team, but they've fought each other. They've had many, many battles, so she does trust Thunder Rosa. She's saying that Toni tapped out and she should be staying there as champion, although, ref was preoccupied during that. Rosa brings up that she also never lost the title. She just had to relinquish it. But if these women backstage want drama, then that's not a problem. Next week, they stop all the games, she says, all the jokes, and it's time to handle business. And the final match on AEW Collision is the House of Black versus the Infantry. And this is a big one, because the winner of this is going to go on to face FTR in the first round of the tag title tournament. So, it's a must-win here for both of these teams. And we're just about to find out which one it's going to be. Let me talk to you. And both teams were super impressive. At least I thought so. They're fighting for a big shot. So, they got to just lay it all out there and put everything on the line. And the match goes outside of the ring, and Brody King just tries burying him through this announce table, and it doesn't break. They both go out now and get him, and Matthews just picks him up, and Brody King hits a pile driver onto the table that still will not break. It refuses to break. Back in the ring, Buddy Matthews now hits the stomp on Dean, but instead of letting the ref count 1, 2, 3, he then picks his shoulders up. He picks him up, and he goes to the top, but when he gets there, it's Mark Briscoe. He shows up and throws a chair right at the dude's skull. I mean, you could hear that clatter from it. He runs over to Brody King, who's chasing him now out in the crowd. Back in the ring, Dean manages to get an arm over Buddy Matthews, and they count him down 1, 2, 3. Your winners of this match, and shockingly enough, are the Infantry, beating the House of Black, and it's a lot to do with that Mark Briscoe interaction for sure. And Malachi hits the ring. He's steaming. He is so pissed off about what just went down. He stares down Mark Briscoe, who's still up in the stands there. In the crowd, in the arena. The Infantry will now face FTR, the top guys, living legends, in the first round of this tag team tournament. And now we are ending Collision with an Adam Copeland promo. We've been waiting for this. We need to know what's going on here. He comes out to a standing ovation. He says he wasn't sure if he would perform here again after the last time, but all the memories he had from when he did in the past, they all came back to him as soon as he entered the building. He thanks everybody in the crowd, for one more memory after getting that kind of a reaction. And, they're popping for Adam Copeland right now. And he's getting to the point, he says it's very fitting that this Wednesday he's going to be facing a man that he thought was his own best friend, obviously Christian Cage. And he says he calls him Christian Cage because he refuses to call him Jay anymore. That's his legal name, his actual name. And he says that because he says Jay is dead. He assumed they would always be friends, brothers, they did so many incredible things together. But he has to fast forward to now. And both of them talked about Copeland coming into AEW to end his career together. And he states that he didn't come to AEW AEW to take anything away from Christian Cage. Unfortunately, that's just how it's happening now. He says he failed at World's End, but picked himself up and got to work, earning himself another title shot. And what happened when he did, they took him out with the move that he created with him together. How fitting, he says. The concerto is what took him out when they created that move. But when he was out, he got a phone call from a man in the past, and he had to remind him, I guess, who he was. And he took some cues from that guy because he created something. And now this is where it gets interesting, guys, because he opens up this mysterious case that he's been carrying around since he came back, and he shows us what's named Spike, something he was inspired to do by an old friend of his by the name of Mick Foley, Mrs. Foley's baby boy, and he vows to put Christian Cage in the hospital, and he goes, Spike and I are going to change you, man. He promises to take away his manhood. He's going to make him say 2 words, he says, that are going to make him never able to look his daughters in the eyes again, and those 2 words are... I think you guys know what those words are. They are I quit. Ahead of their I quit match coming up on Wednesday. Oh, man, just unbelievable build-up. Now we have a Mick Foley, Barbie-inspired Spike that is obviously going to be brought into this match, and I think Christian Cage is going to pay some dues. And this is going to end this episode of the Source Wrestling Podcast. We really appreciate you guys and everybody listening. Please rate the show. Please follow the show. It's also very important and takes 0 effort to do. Once again, though, before we leave, we are going to leave you with what we always leave you with. It is on this day in wrestling history. Let us talk to you.
And on this day in wrestling history, we start off with our notable wrestling birthdays.
Happy birthday.
Yep. We have Ethan Carter III, EC3.
EC3 from TNA, okay.
Born in 1983. Mike Quackenbush, 1978. Not too sure about that one.
Yeah. Quackenbush, huh?
Yeah, Quackenbush. Mike Bell, 1971.
Yeah, we got some old school guys here, and the next one's one of my favorites.
Oh, you want to talk old school? Rick the Model Martel, 1956.
Yes, the model, the master of the arrogance, 1956. Happy birthday to Rick the Model Martel, for sure.
And last but not least, we have Lance Russell, 1926.
Wow.
Led to believe that is a rest in peace.
Absolutely. A late birthday, if you will. And on this day in wrestling history, March 18th, the year 2002, this is the night after WrestleMania 18. Monday Night Raw was in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. The show is most famous for the debut of Brock Lesnar, interfering in a hardcore match between Maven and Al Snow. Lesnar took out both men before delivering 3 vicious power bombs to Spike Dudley.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. So this is the first time you see Brock. And in the main event of the show, Hulk Hogan and The Rock teamed up to beat Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, the Outsiders, via countout.
On this day in wrestling history in 2006, WWE brought back Saturday night's main event. The NBC broadcast was main evented by Shane McMahon being victorious over Shawn Michaels, which is unbelievable, but okay.
They did that.
The victory was actually a reenactment of the famous Montreal screwjob with Vince McMahon,
we all know about
calling
that.
for the bell while Shane McMahon held Michaels in the sharpshooter. So it was a little homage to the famous screwjob.
Little homage, if you
worth
will.
Noting, I'd say.
Absolutely. And to end it all on this day in wrestling history is our first TNA one. On this day in wrestling history, March 18, 2012, TNA Victory Road was held in the Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida, which featured a match between Kurt Angle and Jeff Hardy. And we also had matches AJ Styles was involved in, Christopher Daniels, and they won via pinfall after Styles hit Kazarian with that Styles clash, if you will. And the TNA Knockouts Championship was retained by Gail Kim against challenger Madison Rayne. And one more to add, if I can.
Let's go. Do it. Yeah. Get it.
And in the main event of this night, Bobby Roode beat Sting in a no-holds-barred match.
Boy.
Oh, yeah, Stinger. The Stinger, we miss him already. He beat Sting in this no-holds-barred match to keep hold of the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Thank you guys so much for listening. This is going to end this episode of the Source Wrestling Podcast, and we can be found on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, X, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you may look, we can be found. Once again, this is The Source, WWE, AEW, All Things Wrestling Podcast with Joe
And
Mike.
Yeah.
Let us talk to you.
Let us talk to ya.
We'll talk to you again next time. Yeah.